Hello. Hi. Welcome. Just. Oop, oops. Let me just turn that down real quick. Sorry about that. Uh. Hey everybody. Happy Monday. I'm just waiting for people to come in before I start. Talking to you about games and stuff. Just doing some promotional stuff. No big deal, like I always do, because I am a professional. How was your day? How you been? How was your Monday? Are you hydrated? Have you eaten dinner yet? Are you eating dessert? Let's get cozy. Let's relax. It's time to unwind because Mondays are always Mondays, So let's just go ahead and do that. And sorry if I'm looking off to the side real quick. I'm just trying to give all my promotions out before I forget. Okay, I think I promoted it everywhere. That can go away. That can go away. I think I'm almost done. Sorry about this. Let me just figure this out real quick. Almost done. I am so sorry. Okay. Hello. I'm here now. I'm focused. I'm energized. And I'm ready to do the thing. How is everybody? Tell me how you're feeling. Oh, okay. Well, I'm doing great. I am here. I'm ready to talk about some games. Ready to, talk about some Kickstarters. We have 2 fabulous games that are on my list to review and go over. So I'm so excited to do that for y'all. But yeah, let's start getting into this as people are starting to roll in. If you don't know me, hello, hi, my name is Morgan, or Mo. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her interchangeably. You can find me on all the socials at Serena Bezos. I do a lot of tabletop RPG, actual play, podcasts, and live streams. So that's where most of the time you can find me, is being a player or running a game. Like here on Huetopia, I play in Kahania, which is a Monster of the Week Stars of the Week campaign. That happened last night, or on every other Sundays. And then I'm also I run Donuts and Duels, which is a Kids on Brooms actual play campaign. I am the game master for that. I have some fantastic players for that game. We are still recording episodes and slowly releasing them as they come out. But what we have done so far, I am truly blessed to be working with every single one of them. I absolutely adore all my players. They are so good. But yeah, I do more stuff other than that. I have a podcast called Powered by the Players, which is an actual play podcast covering all your favorite apocalypse games in one-shots or mini campaigns with a rotating diverse cast. But yeah, follow me on Twitter. That's where I do a lot more stuff. But here, Game at a Glance is where we talk about games and we take a glance at them and we see how they're going. And hi, Wild. Good to have you in chat. Thanks for joining. Alright, I'm going to put this over here so I can read my things because too many screens. Don't want to have to be bouncing around. But yeah. So let's go ahead and get some Kickstarters. I don't really have any news as of yet that I know of. If there is any oh, what is this place? Game at a Glance. It's where I hype, talk about, and review BIMPOC designers, so Black, Indigenous, Mixed, Multicultural people of color designers, games, and go over Kickstarters or any news. So, for example, I don't have any news right now, but if there is any news that you want to share with me, I will be more than happy to share it with the group. In the past, we've talked about various jams that were happening, like RPG Latinam Jam, and I think it was the only one that I've talked about so far. We've covered other ones like Cozy Jam and like Business Card Jam, but like we haven't really talk more about more jams, but I would love to. I like talking about jams. Jams are really cool and just a fun way to meet new designers. But another thing is we talk about Kickstarters. Um, so let's go ahead and jump into our Kickstarter segment of tonight. As I get comfortable, get some water. All right, let's do it. So looking at this, as you can tell, we've talked about Spirit Swap, I think, a few times already. I don't care. I'm really excited. It has 62 more hours to go for their for the Kickstarter. Wow, that's how it can be tonight. Then we're in trouble. But yeah, so Spirit Swap, even though it's not tabletop games, I don't care. I'm very excited about this because who doesn't love a good, chill, just a beats game? I've covered it before. I went in depth with it before. Haven't had a chance to play the demo, but I've watched the videos and stuff like that, and the music is good. All that is fantastic. I'm trying to read real quick. Yeah, they're at 126,523. Holy cow, that is so good. That is so exciting. What stretch goals have they hit already? So they hit 990K, which is Fix and Match custom outfits for Samar and more outfits. I love dressing up my characters, so that's good. Gimme Kiss, for 100K. Complex Hades-like narrative with even more romance options. Yes! It's so good. And what I love about this game, if you don't know about it already, it is very queer, BIMPOC. I believe there's polyamorous aspects to it as well, which makes me happy. It makes me so happy. So right now they're shooting for the, sorry, I had to double check, the 150K. It's called acting. Professional voice acting for all of our characters, which would be really cool. As someone who's getting into voice acting, that's awesome. And then 200K would be, that's anime baby, a full animated intro cutscene for the game. That would be really fun. That would be adorable, and I would love to see that happen. Hopefully, fingers crossed they can get there. But if you have not checked this game out, please do so. It's Kickstarter/project/soft not week. Spirit Swap, Lo-Fi beats the Match 3-2. That's this game. I am very excited for it to be doing its thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's got 62 more hours. Fantastic cast. I don't know what else to say about it. It looks so good. I'm very excited about it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to our next one. We got quite a few Kickstarters actually to talk about today. Next one is Tangent Space. I've talked about this before. I believe last game. They have no more days to go, but they only have 4,000 pledges, which is really sad because I want to see this game get in there. JP Starseed is a fantastic designer. Tangent Space looks like a fantastic game. I know they're about to start, I believe, doing an actual play on RPG Hour of like a campaign of this game, which would be really cool to see that. But Tangent Space is a sci-fi tabletop role-playing game that seeks to capture the grand scope and optimism of classic space operas. Featuring diverse alien societies, advanced technologies, epic space battles, and a future worth fighting for. So, yeah, it's one of those games that I'm like, I really want to see happen. And it's just a shame that it's not getting near its goal. And I hope in this, like, last week that it actually does, because that would be really, really cool to have this out and about. And there's a demo version that you can get on itch, if need be. I went through this last time, but it is just a game that I'm looking at. Hey, Brandon. Welcome. I am just going through Kickstarters right now, so join me on my Kickstarter wave. Yeah, my hype wave. Woo! It's a hype train, but I'm calling it a wave because we're just riding it. It's a Monday. What do you expect? But yeah. So Tangent Space, like sci-fi operas, fun system, great character designs. It looks really good. Like, look, we'll pull up the open. Look at that. There's more demo version here on itch. Which is a name your own price for the demo. If you want to be. Thank you. Thank you for the hype. So it gives you a demo about the game, more information, sci-fi, space opera, tabletop RPGs. But yeah, you can also get the demo on itch if you haven't had a chance to look it over or talk about the things yet. This is where you go. This is where you talk about the things. I went through most of this game already. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling so fast. Let me just take my hand off the mouse for a second. And what it's like, I really hope it gets to its Kickstarter goal in the last week and a half. That'd be really good. Hi, Rue. Welcome, Rue. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, it gets there. That'd be really cool to have this game out in the world, and I can review it. And like I said, I believe RPG Hour is gonna be like hosting it on their channel to run the game. So if you're interested in seeing how it plays, be on the lookout. Follow RPG Hour for them and all the information for that game. I think they're still gathering players right now and getting people. So yeah. All right. So next one is one that we also discussed last time. However, it was not in como se dice? It wasn't out yet. It was still like pre-launch sort of phase. It's The Shape of Shadows. It's a connected path game about magic, being taken under someone's wing, and the price you are willing to pay to fly on your own, which is by Jaeon Shim. Jaeon has done so many good games. So many great, fantastic journaling games. And I love the aspect of journaling games. I think I've talked about this before, but dear viewer, if you do not know, I am terrible about doing a daily thing. So bad. I have a journaling game from 2019 that I'm still not done with. I'm sorry, Banana and Doug, for the wishing sigil. I have like 4 days left on that, and I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Rue. You understand. So, like, when I see these games, I'm super excited they exist because I love the concept of them. But just my brain cannot focus on a daily thing. Thanks, Miriam. I appreciate it. It's fine. Time is wonky and a concept that we make up of our own. But thank you for changing the stuff. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's out now. It's called The Shape of Shadows. Let's read about it, because none of this information is out yet. Ooh, got narrative. You abandoned your old life to work in tandem with the magician, the first person to show that true magic exists in the world. When something goes horribly wrong, and the magician gets himself in a bind he can't escape, you must step forward to claim the gifts that have been yours all along, before it's too late to help him, or anyone else. The Shape of Shadows is a connected path game about show magic and true magic, the tension of asserting yourself as equal to someone taking you under their wing, and the price you are willing to pay to fly on your own. Oh, you got this one, Wild? Cool. Excellent. Good. Tell me how it goes, because I'm really interested. I like hearing about them. I like listening about them. I love, hearing people talk about them. Just actually doing them is just something I'm not too good at. So for Jaeon's Wait For Me, I did a day because I asked them, I was like, hey, I'm like a week behind. Should I do it all at once or just do the day by day? And they're like, okay, it works best if you do day by day. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I forgot about it. They are also still in my email. I made their own folder. And they sit there untouched, gathering dust. So I love supporting these designers and what they do. I just forget. Oh no, Rue. Oops, indeed. Oh, jeez. Beans. I feel that. Okay. So about this game, Connected Path and Keepsake games are two terms coined by Xingying Kyor and myself during our collaboration on our previous game, Field Guided Memory. Has anybody done Field Guided Memory by chance? I really like the idea of that game. Once again, it's another journaling game, which I can't remember to do. But I loved hearing about it and like listening people who did it. Yeah. So I think which also exemplifies the qualities of what games that connect to Path. Usually solo game experiences that use story prompts that guide the player through an emotional, resonant, creative process, often in the form of journaling. No two players' experiences are the same, but many players explore alongside any number of participants who are playing the exact same game as them, with them. In a Connected Path game, players experience unique solitary games, while simultaneously sharing in a community of others engaging in the same creative spirit alongside them. I think that's really good. Ooh, how are the physical tiers? Because I'm really intrigued by that one. Because the physical tiers looked really, really good. The joy of playing is a Connected Path game is rooted in child's joy of show and tell. Our intuitive desire to show each other what is precious to us, why we treasure it, and why we feel like to compel to share it with the communities that are precious to us in turn. Oh, I really like that. Comparing it to like a child's show and tell, like, look, I did this thing because I like it. And like, that is so cute. That is so cute. Oh, so cute. Okay. Gameplay materials. The Shape of Shadows transforms a mundane planner into an enhanced collaborative storytelling adventure. Ooh, okay. Hold on. So we got like a cipher here. Some washi tape. Is that constellation washi tape? That's so cool. And some sticky notes and more constellations. Both the narrative and core game experience in The Shape of Shadows center on a day planner. As the magician's assistant, much of your time in the character will be spent interacting with the magician's planner, scouring it for keys to the doors he's always kept close to you, in order to learn what you need to restore him. Yeah, so I really like it too. There was one game I played. Oh god, what was it? It was something that Banana Chan wrote. And I don't know if it was a play test or if something we actually like played. Oh god, what was it called? Basically, it was because Banana does a lot of video journaling games, and it was one that was a video journaling game. It was like the start of the pandemic last year at this panorama. Oh god, what was it called? I don't remember what it was called. Jeez. But we had a Discord where we shared videos with each other about us getting together as like conspiracy theorists about something happening in the world, and then Banana would send us random prompts, and like I stuck with that because I actually had a community sort of like accountability thing on the Discord. Which it was really fun, and I really enjoyed that. My friend Kent Blue actually got like dusted off his like video editing skills and actually did like a really fun like edited video, and that was really cool to watch. I do not have editing skills for videos at all, so it was just a hey guys sort of thing. God, what was it? That's kind of bugging me. I need to message Banana later and be like, what was that game? But yeah, so having like that physical like community with that really does help, and because you get to share and like, you know, talk about this together, but also separate. Yeah. So as the player, you will choose 1 month in a weekly planner to keep track of your character's increasingly strange appointments, while the rest of the planner undergoes metamorphosis in your hands. Every day of play offers something new. Some days are Contemplative focuses on memory and observation in the form of journaling. Others are adventures that may lead you to outside to find a token you need for a ritual. And still others involve trying your hand at more tangible crafts. Whether you're learning the nuances of different forms of sigil work, sigil magic, and how to work with them in tricks of locks you use during the close-up magic shows, reviewing the finer points of talisman crafting to shield you from hecklers at the comedy club, charming your playing cards so they never tumble from your hands during a waterfall shuffle, or developing alchemical formulas for transmutation that you can actually make in real life at home during the game. Ooh, chemistry. I love fun chemistry stuff. It all goes in your planner to turn in page by page into a true magician spellbook. That's delightful. For this game, I would love to get like a really nice journal, like a really like leather-bound journal with like the really rough ridges, kind of like my Cthulhu book back here. I'll have to show this off more later, but like having like those like nice ridges, just being all leather, that'd be really cool. You got a really, really good journal for that. Okay, come back. Boop, boop, boop. Artifacts, art, and ephemera. Yeah. As far as you can tell, the magician devoted the entirety of his life to seeing how far he could push his skills in the practical application of true magic and honing the craft of his show magic. Alchemy, cardistry, divination, illusionism, close-up, conjuring, nothing is off the table for him, literally. Over the course of his life, the magician accumulated a veritable dragon's hoard of research materials, ritual component, float sam and jet sam, both figuratively and literally. An avid beachcomber, the magician uses his findings often, and piles of correspondence, some of it quite personal. Almost every day during game, you'll receive 1 to 2 or more photographs of documentation of these objects as part of your gameplay prompts. 2 reward levels, the Illusionist and the Conjurer, include physical packages of these curiosities, mailed to you as a game's closing narrative. Reward levels. Lock is basically you'll get the game. You'll be added to the player list for the Shape of Shadows live run in late summer. For the duration of the game's run, you'll receive an email for the story of the active prompts Monday through Thursday. The game lasts for 4 consecutive weeks. This will be the PDF of the full game, which you'll get after the live write-up. So basically it is designed by Ruby Levine. Cool. Slight. All this level will get entry to the live game and the full PDF. Oh, for 2 participants. I can read. Y'all, for 2 receptants. So, like, yeah. Illusionist. All digital versions of this game, including email live experiences in late summer, the full PDF, and a large envelope of strange and beautiful paper ephemera. God, I can't read. Ephemera. As described in the Artifacts, Art, and Ephemeria section, includes ephemera from the game narrative that your character or others may encounter during play, as well as paper scraps scrolled away from all over the magician's home. I am mountaineering up an exciting new learning curve and making this reward level unlimited. Ooh, we'll see. That's good. Ooh, Conjurers, 350, limited to 60 boxes. One-of-a-kind collection of beautiful float salmon, jetsam, just like the talismans and treasures. Detrius and the Magician's Office. So this would be really cool if you're like having like want to have a more immersive experience. That's really fun. When I conceptualized this reward, the thought that came to mind was if a cabinet of curiosities could be ordered through delivery. Yo, that's so good. That's so good. This level of care, craftsmanship, and artistic expression I want to put into each of these boxes is the kind of experimental feast I adore creating and sharing with people, and in order to keep it sustainable, there's a strict limit of 60 of these boxes. Each collection box will be made, packaged, leveling fussed over, and shipped out a few at a time in order to avoid bottlenecking my home studio and office. If you back at this level, please note that another backer may receive their box long before you, depending on how many people end up supporting this level. That's pretty rad. That's pretty cool. Creative contributors, we have Hugo Award-winning Sarah Gailey, which seems really awesome. I published novel Magic for Liars, was a LA Times bestseller. Nice. And their novel The Echo Wife is available now. Okay. Amal El Matar is award-winning writer of fiction, poetry, and criticism. She's a science fiction and fantasy columnist for the New York Times Book Review and co-author with Maxine Gladstone of This Is How You Lose at the Time War, a novella which has received several honors, including the Hugo, Nubella, BSFA, and Locus Awards. Cool. And then you have Banana, Jabiri, Kiana, and Sharang. So many good designers. I love these designers. My friends. Eight incredible and true writers will be joining the Shape of Shadows to create additional ephemera for the core game experience. I'll announce all of them over the course of Kickstarter campaign, starting with the 4 incredible designers. So Banana Chan, Chinese Canadian American tabletop RPG and board game writer and publisher. You'll know them for their game company, co-founder of Game Manicure, which does... Let me just pull my games off the shelf here. Diamonds, which is a fantastic little, just gemstone moving game. And then Battle of the Boy Bands, which was done with Cleo Yunsu Davis, which is a literal, be the best boy band game. I still have not played this. I want to play this, dang it. Please, someone play this with me. So Banana is such a good friend of mine. They do a lot of work. Not only did they write for Jingshi Blood in the Banquet Hall, the new Ravenloft game that just came out, Scooby-Doo Material Mystery Mansion, and the Questlings RPG. Jabari is a fantastic artist. I'm not following this right now. I'm doing my own. Jabari is an amazing artist. They do more fantasy and sci-fi illustrations, spinning worlds and fictions for role-playing games and other interactive projects out of words to keep up their glamour. They have worked for Wizards of the Coast and Piaggio. But seriously, go look at their art. They also did the shirts from Big Bad Con 2019. And I look at that shirt and I just smile because it's just so detailed for being a t-shirt, Kiana Shaw is a tabletop RPG designer, streamer, writer, and community creator. They worked on Jiangxi Blood in the Banquet Hall, Sea of Legends, and Candlekeep Mysteries. And she has also worked with self-published micro RPGs on itch, and that explore relationships, introspection, and big feelings through a medium of games, and I believe also contributed to the safety toolkit, if my brain reminds me correctly. Yeah. And then Sharang Baswa. Sharang. He said, I love Sharang. He's such a good human. Has won IndieCade and IGDN awards for role-playing games, and has worked at institutions such as the Institute of Contemporary Art in Philadelphia. Pioneer works in Brooklyn and the Museum of Moving Images in Queens. He's also worked on games such as Spire, Sea of Legends, Jiangxi Blood in the Banquet Hall, Into the Motherlands, Dungeons and Dragons Live. Co-editor of Honey and Wax, an anthology of erotic art games by Pellegrin Pass. Strange Lust, Strange Loves, an anthology of erotic interactive fiction with Strange Horizons. Both those anthologies are fantastic. If you have not looked into them, do it. They are so good. Stretch goals. The first one that was met, raised enough to hire the team of 8 brilliant designers. Yay, they did. And then another one was met with second stretch goal was to hire a cover artist to create a memorable, beautiful piece. Glad they did that. The third one is, which they met, is award a 50% raise to every contributor of asked to board beyond our first goal. Yay! And then the fourth one they have not met yet is for 50K. They basically make a compendium and an appendix of supplementary mini games and multiplayer tabletop RPGs that take place in the same world. Oh, I'm so excited, I'm getting hiccups. And then Jaeyeon Shim. Oh, look at this. I love the little shadow puppets. And the risk of challenges of a Kickstarter. Environmental commitments. Bop, 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 bop. But yeah, that is that game. If you like journaling games, if you like the interactive, having a physical thing at the end of playing a game, please give it a check out. It is almost at the 50K, y'all. It is at 49. It's got like less than 500 to go. That's so cool for their next stretch goal. So yeah, give it a shot. If you like it, is there. The Shape of Shadows by Jaeyeon Shim. But yeah. We have a lot of Kickstarters today. I'm not mad. I'm very happy. I'm very happy there's so much happening right now, and it makes me so excited to see. Alright, so we have Monsterhearts, Brave New Worlds. New settings for Monsters 2, written by queer and are by POC authors. It has not hit a stretch goal yet of 3,000, but it is getting close. It has 14 days to go. If you like Monsterhearts, like myself, please give it a look. We're going through it right now. And it's great. It's by Creatively Queer Press. By the time they've grown into their teenage adolescence, most people have learned to avoid the shadows that linger in the alleys of the small reality. We know that the midnight hour is only one meant to be at home, safely tucked away in bed. But even as we sleep, our nightmares show that we yearn to see what the shadows have to offer. Come with us and see what world exists in the darkness. Alright, let's see what they got. Monsterhearts Brave New Worlds. Welcome to Monsterhearts Brave New Worlds, a project created to add more stages for every dramatic campaign you can imagine in Monsterhearts 2. This project introduces 12 new small-town settings to offer you new ways to explore and interact with unique environments in your campaigns. These towns were all crafted by queer and our POC writers who love fantasy, sci-fi, and horror as much as we do. Our brand new worlds are designed for Monsterhearts 2 in mind, but with some adjustments that can be compatible with any tabletop role-playing game you desire. I really do love that. I just love having more ideas thrown at me about a Monsterhearts game. Alright. These worlds offer new points of inspiration for your next supernatural saga. New backstories and new mysteries offer players the chance to create the uniquely queer campaign of their dreams. Heat up some tea, light your candles, and cozy up with Monsterhearts Brave New Worlds to explore endless possibilities. Each entry will have a rich, detailed anecdote about the setting as well as recommended game mechanics. With easy-to-read fonts and straightforward formatting, our guidance is designed with accessibility in mind. Special thanks to Ree and Dot's RPG product. Oh, is that Ree from, oh, I can't click on it. From the Magpies? Or the COVID podcast? Not COVID, I'm sorry, Corvids. That'd be interesting. And Dot's RPG project, I love Dots. They're the ones who did the Braille, dice, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah. We invite everyone to step into the moonlight and let your imagination run wild. Explanation of Monsterhearts 2. It is there. What's Avery's contribution to this project? Though Avery Allard is given her permission to do this alongside writing an entry, this is not an official Monsterhearts 2 expansion. This is instead a labor of love by fans and like-minded authors and artists who wish to add their own mark to the world's wonderful game that Avery designed. Talks about creatively queer, by POC and LGBTQ creators who have largely ignored the entertainment industry. And it just goes and explains things, and then he talks about the games themselves. Like Avery adds something, Ezra Rose, and I'm not going to go through all this because it's great for y'all to read it. Emmett Nahil, Kieran Leadbeater, Damon Begay, CM Roosbot, Nordine Al-Qadir. I mean, that face looks familiar. I don't know about y'all. Jonathan Boyle, Queer Mars, Small Red Robin 13, Luis Silva, and there's only one stretch goal right now, and that is once they hit 3,500, they will hire to translate into Spanish, which I believe is so cool. That is so cool. That makes me so excited. So yeah, risk and challenges, all the good stuff. But yeah, if you like Monster Hearts like I do, believe me, I've been itching for another Monster Hearts game. I did play a run, which I know I don't have the brain space to run, but I still want to run one. Give it a shot. Take a look at it. Do the thing. Yeah. With that is they, like I said, they're about to have less than 600 to go for their goal, and then less than 1,000 to go for the first stretch goal to get a translation in Spanish. So yeah. And it's 14 days ago, so do the thing. Do it. All right, so as we are looking at these things, I'm going to just scoot over real quick to that. Okay. We're going to start with Dragonhearts as our first game. If there's no more news or other games to look into, I'm just going to edit this real quick so I can like get things more. Sorry, I'm trying to. The layout's funky with the layout's different than what I'm used to with the. It's more of a landscape. No, portrait. No, I'm used to portrait. Yeah, I'm used to portrait. This is a landscape. We'll make it work. So give me 1 second while I edit to fit my screen. Yeah. Can y'all see that? Does that look good for y'all? Unfortunately, I think there may be some just some shifting issues, so I apologize in advance. I did what I could. So first game we're gonna talk about is Dragonhearts with yeah. It's a story game by Alex Guerrero, following the Firebrands formula by Megway and D. Vincent Baker. Cover art by Corrine Rusquero Cooley and Alex Rusquera Guerrero. There we go. Sorry, my Spanish is still terrible. If you do not know me, hello. I'm a Latin person who does not speak Spanish. Yay. Let's get into this. I'm excited. All I know from what I've heard, and I've had this book for a while, is that it's about gay dragons, and I'm very excited for some gay dragons. I'm gonna. Let me make this a little bit bigger. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second, because I want this. I want to show. Is that better? Did that work? I don't know. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying. I'll just read it out. I can't focus on it all night. Introduction. Like everyone else in your world, you are a shapeshifter, able to assume a human form, a dragon form, or anywhere in between. Every 1,000 years, your planet experiences the eclipse, the sun, moon, and the mystic, ever-shifting sky mountain line, and ritual magics are invoked to affect the entire world. After the last eclipse, a faction of dragons left the planet, seeking a new home in the starry void. As the next eclipse approaches, the void dragons return, altered by their long journey. Their agenda is unknown. The Sky Mountain has chosen each of you as a representative for a faction for the eclipse ritual. You are guided by surreal prophetic dreams. That draw you to one another. The Oracle says only one of you can attain totality and control the ritual's power, but the ancient dragons who might remember the last ritual have long since fallen into slumber, so no one knows how this is done. As such, the weeks leading up to the eclipse are full of festivals, flamboyant combats, elegant dances, friendly competitions, and so on, as each faction delights in showing off the prowess and beauty of its chosen and hopes to satisfy the mysterious requirements of your destiny. When dragons meet, etiquette and culture strain to rein in their instincts, but tensions run high, erupting cataclysmic battles or fiery romances, often simultaneously. Your dreams tell you that the bonds you form in this time are important, even if you can't yet see why. Your deep friendship, passionate romance, intense rivalry, or bitter hatred might be the key to your destiny and the world's fate. That's fun. I like that. That is super duper cool. Let's see here. Alright. What do we need to play? Let's scoot over. How to play. And once again, I'm sorry it's not lining up properly. Layouts. What can you do? You'll need 3 out of 4 players, including yourself. Technically, you could stretch to 5 or 6, but it's challenging to balance spotlight and development for each character without a much longer playtime. Allow 3 to 4 hours to play. You'll need at least 1 copy of this book, but have additional copies for each player is preferable. To start, you'll read aloud through the next pages to introduce the safety mechanics, your characters, and the world. Then take turns. On your turn, you'll choose a game to play, turning to that page of the playbook and following the rules you find there, picking which other players you want to join in. When you're done, go around the table picking more games, keeping going as long as you want. The very first game should be a factual dream, the very last endgame, the eclipse. While playing a scene, you'll have prompts and questions to answer. Fill in the blanks from your imagination. Use the prompts as a guideline and elaborate freely from there, reading the prompt aloud if you want, throwing your own contributions before and after. Any lists with slashes, like this, allow you to pick an option or make one up. No deaths, only dreams. Although you may engage in titanic combats and take terrible wounds, dragons cannot die. Instead, your wounded body sleeps or regenerates. The void dragons speak in hushed tones of dragon who fell into the heart of a star, and is still there, sleeping, waiting. And if you're badly overtaxed or injured, play a factual dream on your next turn and follow the relevant prompts. Safety and consent. Yes, I love how it's page 2. Or rather, page 3, but still, you know what I mean. The game involves playing a lot of different headspaces, being a cool, powerful monster, being flirtatious and sexy, indulging in melodrama in the extremest possible way, and many more. These headspaces and their overlaps can be complicated. It's impossible to predict how another player will feel about something that you can bring up, even if there's someone you know well. If you have a favorite safety mechanic, feel free to use it, but for the game I recommend the support flower. I choose the support flower over the simpler safety tools like the X card because it allows players to express enthusiastic consent, which is important in this game. Players saying, "The moonlight glints off my fangs as I lean towards the soft scales of your throat," could be something the other player is really into or really not into. And the same player might feel differently on different days or in different contexts. Never hesitate to pause your games and talk things out. It shows respect for your fellow players and everyone feels better when you dive back in. Yes! I love that. Yes, 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 yes. Talking, communication, it's important. It helps people out. It helps you understand where things are going. If there's conflict, like someone's tapping yes for something once another person taps no, the closer to the center takes precedence. Which we'll look at the flower in a second. And the support flower is adapted by Taylor Stokes for the support signals by Jay Silvano. And you can find it more information there. Tap a support flower. Tap a color to gain your feelings. Flicker between colors to ask people more if they want more. Why? Is it yellow to green? Okay, I'm really bad at acronyms, you all. So I was just like, what? Yes to go. So if you want more, so I guess if you move like yellow to green, like yes, or less, yellow to red. Tap and hold the pause and game and talk it out, then release. I like that. That's really cool. I've never used a support flower. I've used similar things like that, like in O and X symbols to like talk things out and like get more information. But I like the physical tangibility of the support flower. That's really cool, especially if you're playing at a table with people. But I haven't done that recently. Womp. Soon we shall play with people in person. And it will be so nice. Hydrating is so good. I know, Rude. It's been so long. Alright, to create your character, fold a large index card in a shape like a tent. Choose a faction from the next few pages. Consider diversifying among your factions, but do what you want. If everyone wants to be moon dragons, that's fine. Write the prompts from the next page of your card. Space to fill out your height. Space to fill out its full height. I can read. Jeez. Okay. Use pencil. Things may change later. Once you're done, write the same thing on the back so you can read it for yourself. Out loud, read your faction's details or prompts. Then a summary of your answers on another card. Put in the middle of the table to reference as you play. Sweet. Let's make our characters. All right. Formal dragon. So prompts. Formal dragons' names have 5 to 7 syllables, with a shorter nickname. This could be an overdramatic dragon name like Scytheniax, the Wise, Psy, quote unquote. Or more abstract or periodic name like a feral garden grows rampant. Feral for short. Write your pronouns after or draw a symbol for them. Blood, pick from your faction's list or decide your own. Breath, pick your faction's list or decide your own. Qualities, pick 2 from your faction's list or decide your own. Horde, sleeping on your horde grants you better control over your dreams. Choose a type of horde below or decide your own. Treasures, weapons, animals, books, toys, art, plants, tools, erotica, conquest, machines, mementos, textiles, trinkets, instruments, edibles, intangibles, trash, vessels, and cosmetics. How do you hoard intangibles? Like, what is an intangible at this? Because all I'm thinking is, like, fishing net for some odd reason when it comes to intangibles, and I don't know why. I can't comprehend that, but I'd love to hear what people think in comprehending that. That sounds really cool. Mood. Dragons constantly express their emotional state through the color changes, pheromone scents, and telepathic music. Ooh, telepathic music. Read your faction's prompt and fill in one of the sights, scents, or sounds that you use to show your mood. Add others later to discover as you discover them. Romance preference. If a character is open for romance with other players, draw a heart on your card. If not, leave a blank or draw something else that represents that. If this changes during changes as you play, update the symbol. Alright. I'm thinking about it. I'm really bad with names, so I'm gonna have to wait and see about that one. Alright, so we have sun dragons. Regal and cultured, sun dragons rose to a power 1,000 years ago during the last eclipse. One of their number attained totality, altering the entire planet to suit their aesthetics and uses. Their blood is molten brass, dawn mist, childhood memories, diamonds, heat mirage, fertile soil, raw magic. Ooh. Breath is sandstorm, gold coins, delicious food stuff. I love that. Solar flare, good fortunes, ancestral spirits, verdant life. Qualities: radiant, charming, philanthropic, severe, honorable, fiery, gentle, imperious, faithful, generous, hot, wistful, ambitious, conflicted, pragmatic. Mood. Obviously, you have a mood to express pheromones and telepathy, but you feel most fluent communicating with your color-changing abilities. What parts do you change color with your mood? Alright, cool. Sorry, I got the thing in my eye. Alright, once you've created your character, read the following text out loud and share your answers as you go. Other players can share their ideas, but you have the final say what's true for your faction. If multiple people are playing the same faction, you can collaborate or have multiple answers to be true. We've created institutions and artifacts such as decadence and complacency have led us to I feel our traditions and laws are about blank or blank. So that's a sun dragon. Moon dragons are bewitching and innovative. Moon dragons retreat to the moon after the last eclipse. Only a few diplomats and embassies remaining. Their mastery of magic and science are unparalleled among dragons. Blood is secret, quicksilver, healing wine, moon coral, chaos, magical equations in liquid glass. Their breath is ink, moonlight, time acceleration, songs, ocean tides, insight, lunar wind. I love how a lot of this is like conceptual as well, so you can kind of just like make up what it is, and that's like super duper cool. Like, that's really interesting. Qualities are methodical, mercurial, prophetic, resource, ascetic, sensual, cool, fashionable, alluring, bookish, skilled, idealistic, shy, inquisitive, and trustworthy. Mood. Obviously, you have a mood, expressive color change, and telepathy, but you're most fluent when you communicate via scent, using your pheromones. What is the normal ambient scent? I think I might be a moon dragon. I think we're gonna be making a moon dragon, y'all. I'll finish reading factions and then we'll make characters. But yeah. Once you create a character, read the following text out loud and share the answers as you go. Other players can share their ideas, but you have the final say on what's true for your faction. If multiple people are playing the same faction, you collaborate or you have multiple answers to be true. Some of our many secrets, such as blank, are nearing fruition. During our self-imposed exile, we have gained the wisdom of blank. I watch us fall into blank patterns, which I feel are blank. Okay, so that's moon dragons, and these are void dragons. Unsettling and enigmatic, void dragons travel for 1,000 years, their eggs incubating into the strange energies and cold silence of space. Returned at last, they pursue obscure agendas in secret workshops. Blood, stardust, ancient memories, void, xenoflora, dream stuff, crystal, alien microsymbiotes, breath, antimatter, meteor shower, tranquility, cosmic radiation, grief, undulating flesh. Sorry, that threw me off. Vortex. Qualities: intoxicating, weird, cute, magnetic, inventive, elegant, adaptable, ancient, subtle, spooky, controlled, cosmopolitan, scarred, otherworldly, effusive. Mood. Obviously, you have mood, express, color, change, and pheromones, but you mostly feel fluent when communicating with your telepathy. What musical instruments does it usually sound like? That's fun. Once you create a character, read the following text out loud and share the answers as you go. Other players can share their ideas, but you have the final say on what's true for your faction. If multiple people are playing the same faction, you can collaborate or have multiple answers to be true. Our search for a new home among the stars are blank. We were much changed by the journey, gaining blank but losing blank. Most dragons can blank, but I can't. I blank think of myself as dragonkind. Alright, so making our characters real quick. I'm going to go with a moon dragon because that sounds up my alley. I love moons. I'll pick my name in last. My blood will be liquid glass, just clear, oozing clearness. My breath will be ocean tides. Because if you don't know me, I love the ocean. Yeah. Qualities, pick 2 from your factions list. Okay, so qualities would be let's go, because I want to go with the whole flirty nature of this, because I love digging into the romance. So let's go alluring and idealistic. Yeah, I like those. Mood, via scent. I want to say smells like the ocean air, or the scent of the beach. So like the salty spray is our ambient scent. Because that to me is like heckin' relaxing. That is so nice. Did I get everybody? Oh, romance preferences. I just draw a big ol' heart. Just right in the corner there. Because I'm open. My character's open for romance. It may change, but for now, that they are. Oh, and I need a name. Oh, beans. Okay. Don't mind me just looking up dragon names. Let's go with something very just on the nose for me. No, hold on. That's just... I don't know. If y'all have a good sea dragon name, please let me know, because my brain's just... I can't do names. I'm really bad at picking names. I'm really bad at picking names, y'all. Alright, let's continue. World building. Together, you'll describe the planet. You might define environment and climate, society and culture, population, magic, technology, or anything else you want. Sun Dragons writes 2 true things about the world. Moon Dragons write 1 thing about the world and 1 thing about the moon. And Void Dragons write 1 thing that has been true since ancient times and 1 that was but is no more. If any factions are shared or absent, so you can pick a choice from above from a different faction if you prefer. So, you do some world building stuff. There we go. Anytime something about the world is becoming clear, draw it here. Use the space to doodle while you're not playing, if you want. You can also draw any truths about the world that you wrote on your previous page, or discover as you continue to play the other games. Turn to a fractal dream to play through it with everyone, and then whoever wants to can pick a game and keep playing as described and how to play. When you're finished, play in-game the Eclipse. So table of contents here of all the games. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 games overall. A fractal dream. Everyone plays its first. Play alone when overtaxed or as desired. Ritual at the Sky Mountain. Choose a ritual to change your character permanently, then set your next game in the dream world and draw others into it. A dance. Get to know each other. Indulge in fashion, flirtation, and drama. A conversation over food. Get acquainted while trading gossip, secrets, and promises. A demonstration of skill and generosity. Showing off each other have to offer skill, talent, and treasure. A pursuit. Build your attention, explore, and define what we want from each other. At each other's throats. Have a big, cool dragon fight fraught with emotion. In each other's arms. Charge conversations and situations. Get as spicy as you want it to. Yeah. Ending game the Eclipse. Pick one of the 3 end games as heed and defy Destiny's Call. All right. And I think this is just set up for a 1-person game. Basically, you'll have your setup, the dream journal, and then how you'll pick your stuff for that. That's really interesting that there's a 1-person in the area. That's cool. Oh, here's more of a game for 1 person playing. Oh, wow. Okay. No, I'm sorry. This is... Sorry, it's not a one-person game. This is the actual, like, fractal. I can read. I'm a professional. Yeah. Goodness. Okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and hydrate first. Alright, setup. Every night you have the same dream. Every night it changes. When you first play in any order, everyone uses the prompts on the next page to describe their dreams to real events. If it isn't your first time, one player plays using the prompts on the right. During the scene, anyone can ask anyone questions about the setting, occasion, and circumstances, even if they aren't playing in the scene. If some details are not clear to you, pass over to them. That is the way of the dreams. Dream journal. If an image or moment of your dream seems particularly cool or likely to be meaningful, write it down on a card and put it in the middle of the table. Keep adding to it whenever your dream recurs. Every time you play this game after the first, pick from the list below and say how your dream is different. If you're snugly asleep on your hoard, pick 3 options. If not, pick 1. If you're badly injured and are overtaxed, each other player picks 1, and you describe the results. Someone or something vague becomes familiar. Previously pleasant or beautiful imagery becomes nightmarish, or vice versa. You're shaped to human or dragon form, opposite from last time. Or you shift to human or dragon form, opposite from last time. Terrain, objects, and other people shift and evolve in surreal ways. Meaningful words rearrange. Something unsettling, investigated, grants insight. Metaphor peels away to reveal underlying truth. Sun Dragon, dream of present. You dream of great ambitions left unaccomplished, or injured pride that seeks redress. Pick 2 more for inspiration. And then it has a list. Moon Dragon, a dream of the future. You dream of ominous crisis yet to happen, or wondrous breakthrough just beyond your sight. Void Dragon, a dream of the past. You dream of something precious, centuries lost, or something long dormant, soon to be awakened. And it gives some more examples of what to choose. I like that. That's cool. Nice. Oh, so this, what I read over here, the dream of present, past, future, and past is for the first night. Okay. And then the dream recurs is for the following nights. Okay. Cool. Ritual at Sky Mountain. Setup. At the edge of space, high above the world, the inverted pyramid of the Sky Mountain and its mutable landscapes provide a focus for ritual magic. The current player plays alone, deciding what of themselves they are willing to give up and how they will change. Tell everyone, what do you look like right now? How dragonish are you? What's your mood and how is it obvious? What do the changed vistas of the Sky Mountain look like? During the scene, anyone can ask anyone questions about the setting, occasion, and circumstances, even if they aren't playing the scene. Conducting the ritual. The Sky Mountain's power will be the greatest at the eclipse, the moment of totality when the sun and moon align with it. But while the rituals here and now won't change the entire world, they'll surely change you. Pick either ritual transformation or enter the ancestral metadream and follow the prompts there. Ending the ritual. You collapse, power thrumming through you. On your next turn or the next time you're asked to play in a game as normal except that you are asleep, and pull any fellow players into the dream world with you. Set the next game in someone's fractal dream or ancestral metadream. Ritual transformation. From the vantage point, from this vantage you can see the sun in all her glory, luminous moon approaching, and the void surrounding you. The world spread out far below. Fortunately, you have nictating membranes protecting your eyes, so staring right at all this is no problem for you. Does the sun, moon, void, or world call to you? Choose either breath or blood. Describe how revealing power of the sky mountain rushes through you, and all the breath or all the blood explodes from your body in cataclysmic instant. Replace it with something entirely new. While you're at it, change your appearance, pronouns, and/or qualities. How do you feel now? Oof, that's intense. I like it, but it's intense. Enter the ancestral metadream. Generations have passed their energy into the sky mountain, steeping in the collective consciousness. Sleep. Recall your fractal dream. Zoom in to reveal what's within, or zoom out to reveal what's beyond. Your dream connects to theirs. All dreams are connected. Choose 2 to describe the slice of metadream, where ancestors recall sacrifices made, world changes, patterns repeated. Afterwards, choose which one of the 2 elements remains with you for altering the landscape of your factual dream. Nice. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, which is this one? The dance? A dance. Setup. Discuss with your chosen players how you came to be dancing together. Is this dance space suitable for your human forms, your dragon forms, or both? Describe how you are adorned in a good fashion. Ask each other, what do you look like right now? How dragonish are you? What's your mood, and how can I tell? During the scene, anyone can ask anyone questions about the setting, occasion, circumstances, and even if they aren't playing in the scene. Conducting the dance. Take turns asking each other questions. Each of you get to ask 3 questions in total, choosing which dancing partner for each. Take turns asking questions as the flow of the dance moves you from partner to partner. The most uninhibited dancer asks the first question, or else have another player choose who asks the first question at whim. Ending the dance. Once every dancer has asked their 3 questions, the dance ends. Questions. I make an attempt at something clever with banter. How do you respond? You discuss someone's fashion. Are you complimentary or cutting? Your mouth is close to my ear. What do you say? Ooh. At this moment in this dance, you laugh. At what? My pleasant words conceal an obvious threat. How do you reply? Something about me catches your eye, and your look lingers. What? Subtle changes flow across my form, leaving me to be just a little more dragonish. How do you react? Subtle changes flow across my form, leaving me a little more human. How do you react? I take flight, drawing you away from the dance for a private moment. Do you follow? I love this. Oh my gosh. I lose my place in the dance. Do you let me stumble, or do you draw me back into my place? How? I show my flashy, elegant maneuver. Do you try to match me? I describe how our dance echoes my fractal dream. Do you listen? My face is close to yours. Do you turn subtly towards me or away? Ah! You have the opportunity to draw me close and hold me for a moment. Do you take it? This moment in this dance allows me to step closer to you and linger very near. You are surrounded by powerful colors, scents, and sounds of my mood. How do you feel? Oh gosh, this is really good. I love those questions. Those are really fun questions. Okay. A conversation over food. Setup. Discuss with your chosen players how you came to be eating and conversing together. Was this meal prepared or hunted? By whom? Is it size for the appetite of humans, dragons, or both? To start, ask each other, what do you look like right now? How dragonish are you? What's your mood, and how can I tell? During the scene, anyone can ask anyone questions about the setting, occasion, and circumstances, even if they aren't playing in the scene. Conducting the conversation. Take turns. The person with the lowest social standing takes the first turn. If this isn't clear, have another player choose who goes first at whim. On your turn, choose one or more conversational partners and choose an action. Ask a topical question. Engage in free-form, improvised conversation. Pass, saying instead something about the food. Lead the conversation. Ending the conversation. End the conversation either when everyone has passed in a row or when everyone has left the conversation but one. Topical questions. I'm feeling boastful and expansive. Ask a personal question or favor. You could incur my ire bringing up blank. Do you? I obviously want to be praised about blank. Will you? I'm curious if you're flirting with me or not. Are you? You could construe my words as an insult and pick a fight. Do you? I noticed something unusual about you. What? I pretend disinterested in blank, hoping you'll reveal its secrets. Do you? I hope to find common ground with you about blank. Can I? I hope to convince you that blank. Can I? Conversational topics. Recent theft from the impenetrable Moondragon Library Museum. Delicious scandal in the prominent Sun Dragon family. Rumor of alien entities in the Void Dragon Enclave. Something from a dream that has appeared in the real world. Speculation on what might become of the world after the eclipse. Radical Moon Dragon scholar has been publicly censored. Assertions regarding Sun Dragon's custodialship of the world. An explosion inside of the Void Dragon workshop. Any other topic of your choice. Alright, let's see here. What's this one? A demonstration of skill and generosity. Setup. Discuss with your chosen players how you became to be in nominally friendly competition, vying for a show of superiority before you assembled brethren. Where are you? Who is your audience? Who is competing? If you are competing, you may play as the audience, either as your character or as another spectator. To start, ask each other, what do you look like right now? How dragonish are you? What's your mood? How can I tell? During this scene, anyone can ask questions about the setting, occasion, and circumstances, even if you aren't playing in the scene. Here we go. Conducting demonstration. The person most eager to perform takes the first turn. If this isn't clear, have another player choose who goes first at whim. On your turn, choose how you will satisfy the audience, then choose the demonstrator's prompt. Afterwards, anyone who wants can respond as a spectator. Continue until each demonstrator has gone at least twice or retired. Ending the demonstration. After you're done, choose a quality reflecting the lasting impression of the experience. Add it to your card. Demonstrator. How will you try to satisfy the desires of your audience this time? I rain the bounty of my hoard upon the audience, extolling its value. I use talent, craft, and lore to provide a space something amazing. I impress with the power of my blood, breath, and body. I improve one of my earlier moves, adding drama and flamboyance. I mimic someone else's move, improving it with my own flair. I invoke my or my faction's past feats and accomplishments. I reveal my dreams and visions for the world to come. For reasons of my own, I retire from the stage and join the crowd. As a spectator, you can loudly point out a tiny flaw in someone's performance, lavish praise on my favorite demonstrator. I speculate on how someone's demonstration reflects their character. I pretend to be unimpressed, but my mood shows otherwise. I exchange gossip with someone about one or more demonstrators. I judge the demonstrator by the faction instead of the results. Seizing my moment, I take the stage and join the demonstrators. Alright, a pursuit. Saucy, I'm too excited about this one. Nope. There we go. Setup. Choose one of the other players to be your counterpart in this pursuit. The pursuit is whoever denies the other their presence. Pursued. Why are you denying them? Pursuer. Why are you letting yourself be denied? Yo! Dang. Where does this pursuit take you? Through bustling festivities, across someone's fractal dream, between cities and wilderness, across the world and into space, to someone's lair and hoard. To start, ask each other, what do you look like right now? How dragonish are you? What's your mood and how can I tell? Conducting the pursuit. Ask each other from the next page, alternating turns, until you feel the pursuit might be about to draw a conclusion, then consult the final section. As you encounter the memorable locations, draw them in the world-building page if you want. Ending the pursuit. Pursued, choose one. You've proven yourself and I let you catch me. How do you feel? I've led you to a wonderful secret place. Do you like it? Fool! You fall into my trap. Our next game together will be at each other's throats. You come upon me collapsed and dreaming. Do you join me? I'm nowhere to be found. What does your defeat taste like? So nice. I really want to play this now. I say that about all the games I talk about, but like, I really do. It sounds delightful. Pursued questions. What do you currently intend to do if you catch me? How can I tell? I blank to gain distance. How effective is it? You maneuvered me into a location you prefer. Where? Why? I use my knowledge of the terrain to blank. How well does it work? How do you feel? Follow. Give chase. Nearly catch me. What might make you give up the chase? Pursuer questions. What do you currently hope for if I catch you? How can I tell? I blank to get closer. How well does it work? You led me to a location you preferred. Where? Why? I use my knowledge of the terrain to blank. How well does it work? How do you evade, withdraw, slip from my grasp, and what might make you let me catch you? That's cool. That's fun. I love that. That's the tension. Ah, yes, so good. Alright. At each other's throats. Discuss with your chosen players how you become standing together, ready to fight. Is the field suitable for your human forms or your dragon forms or both? When you're in human form, paraphrase the prompts accordingly. To start, ask each other, what do you look like right now? How dragonish are you? What's your mood? How can I tell? Do we have an audience? During the scene, anyone can ask anyone questions about the setting, occasions, and circumstances, even if they aren't playing in the scene. Conducting the bout. Take turns asking each other questions, going around the circle of combatants. The first 3 questions must be the light moves, and after that you can make light or heavy moves as desired. More than 2 combatants are involved. Make sure to specify if your move addresses one or more of the players. The most eager to fight ask the first question, or else have the other 2 players who ask the first question at whim. Keep asking questions until your answer ends the scene. It can be either a light or heavy move. If anyone is asleep now, or injured or overtaxed enough they'll need to sleep, they'll play a fractal dream on their next turn. Light moves. We circle each other, seeking weakness. What do we say? I make a threat display. Are you surprised, imitated, impressed? I try to catch you off guard, trying to take the air or shape-shifting. Can I? My jaw snapped inches from your throat. Are you exhilarated? Chilled? Your fierce attack sends my blood flying. How does it affect you? I give you a sincere compliment. How do you respond? I leap and wrestle playfully like a hatchling. How do you react? I unleash the power of my breath. Can you withstand it? I provoke you, inflaming your emotions. How do you feel? Heavy moves. I twine around you, my scent overpowering. May I hold you? Ah! I love that. Sorry. I send you hurtling through your surroundings. Do you rise? Weary, I unthinkingly lean against you. Do we battle on or snooze? I pin you by bulk and force of will. Do you resist or submit? We unleash our breath at full power. Afterwards, who's standing? You're a worthy foe. I move to end the battle amicably. Do you accept? I describe how our battle echoes my fractal dream. Do you listen? Your mouth is close to my ear. What do you say? Game swap. This is no longer a fight. Flip to in each other's arms. Shall we? Setup. Discussing with your players how they choose came to be relatively contentment and harmony. Is the space comfortable for your human forms or dragon forms or both? To start, ask each other, what do you look like right now? How dragonish are you? What's your mood and how can I tell? During the scene, anyone can ask anyone questions about the settings, occasion, and circumstances, even if they aren't playing in the scene. Converse as you like naturally. During this conversation, any of you may, whenever you like, begin an exchange by addressing the advanced addresses to one or more partners. Each partner address then gives their answers to conclude exchange. Then someone else makes an advance, or you can return to casual conversation. At any time after the third exchange, any player may interrupt you by having someone else enter the scene. Depending on the circumstances, the scene might end or continue. Ending the liaison. Continue your conversations until you part, swap games, or draw a curtain upon what follows. Advances. I touch and look at something of yours that is personal. May I? I move into your personal space. May I? I touch your wrist, hair, cheek, thigh, other human part. May I? I touch your wing, tail, horn, scale, fang, other dragon part. May I? I loosen or remove a piece of your or my clothing. May I? I do not only touch, but kiss you as above. May I? I love this. Ooh. Answers. You may, and the sight, scent, or sound of my mood changes. You may, but first I want to blank. Will you? You may, but first I want to blank. Do you mind? You may, but only for a moment. You may. Let's draw a curtain upon what follows. Momentary game swap. You may. It is found with a light or heavy move from at each other's throats. You may. I shapeshift fully or partially. You may not, and I shapeshift fully or partially. You may not, and the sight, scent, or sound of my mood changes. You may not, but only because I clearly desire a bolder advance. Game swap. You may not, and I respond with a lighter, heavy move from at each other's throats. Then we will continue in that game. Ah! You wake up. Wait, were you asleep? It seems like you still had time before the eclipse, but suddenly it's happening right above you. All you are gathered. Oh, we're in the end game now. Sorry. Oop. Didn't realize we were there. It happened so fast. I got so distracted by in each other's arms. All you are gathered together on the Sky Mountain. Your fate has come for you, whether you're ready or not. Decide who is chosen by destiny. Each player puts a hand out simultaneously and holds up 0, 1, or 2 fingers. Starting from the current player, the one who picked this game, go from the table clockwise. A number of players equal to the numbers chosen. The player who you end up on is the one who's chosen. So if the total is 1, the chosen would be the person's left. Okay, so basically, let's say I put a 0, someone puts a 2, there's a 3. So basically it goes around 5 times, and whoever lands on the 5th time, that's the chosen. Okay. Examine your options. Decide together whether you'll let destiny unfold by allowing the chosen one to attain totality, let your bonds to each other draw you to attain unity. Let your ancestors free as you break the Sky Mountain. For the last time, ask each other, what do you look like right now? How dragonish are you? What's your mood and how can I tell? At this final moment, what do shape-shifting or shifting landscapes of the Sky Mountain become? What imagery from your dreams is here real? In-game attain totality. One of you is destined for this. You rise into the sky, silhouetted for an instant against the dark circle on the white ring of the eclipse, and then you're gone. What does this final expression on your face look like? What is the last thing you see? Return to the world-building page and look at the truths that you've established there. Your blood, breath, and poured flow through the mountain and channeled magnificent by power, each becoming what the destiny always intended to be. Erase 3 of the truths you established and place them as new ones. What do your blood, breath, and horde each become as they change the world for the next 1,000 years? Those who remain, how do you feel? When it's all over, turn to in-game epilogue. In-game attain unity. One of you was destined for this. They began to rise into the sky, but you will let them go alone. Whichever of you have formed unbreakable bonds to them, you all start to rise. Then your collective weight begins to pull you back down. What forms do your bonds to each other take? What do your expressions look like as you fall together? Together, you're subsumed into the Sky Mountain to join your ancestors in the eternal dream. From among all the blood, breath, and horde of those involved, pick 2. Replace 2 existing truths with new ones representing what they become. If anyone remained behind, they each add a new truth showing what they accomplished with their life's work after others are gone. When it's all over, turn to epilogue in-game. In-game, break the Sky Mountain. This cycle has continued for millennia untold. It ends today. Your dreams and the dreams of your ancestors guided you here, and together you channel your passion and your own and almighty power that splits this mountain in twain, leaving it to fall toward the planet below as ancestral spirits spill out of it, finally free. What do each add to the spectacular display? How are you changed by the rampant wild magic around you? Erase 3 of the current truths you established in world building, adding a new truth that reflects at what happens when the Sky Mountain falls. Add 1 reflecting your ancestors' dreams coming true. Add 1 that represents one or all of your dreams coming true. When it's all over, turn to in-game epilogue. In-game epilogue. In any order, answer the following questions. For those who remained in the world, 100 years from now, where are you and what are you doing? What image from the day of the eclipse has become part of your dreamscape? For those who attained totality or unity, 100 years from now, what remains of your legacy? Who will speak your name and why? 1,000 years from now, what will the next chosen see when they meet you in the ancestral meta dream? And that's Dragonhearts, y'all. Thanks so much for everyone involved in Sword Dream and the Dream Jam. Dragon Dream with me. Firebrand Games, and it's also inspired by Take My Revolution by Jamila. Hey, another Jamie game. Support to his wife, Karina Riscotta Coley, for support. Thanks to Ed Turner, Kate, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so that's Dragonhearts. What y'all think? I like this game. This is fun. This sounds like a really cool game. I'm going to go back to the top here. And yeah, I would definitely love to play it. We definitely need to find the right crew, people who are interested in playing like romantic, yearning sort of like games, or it doesn't have to be like romantic. It could be like just a bunch of dragons that are ready to go for each other's throat. Alright, so that is that game. Let's go ahead and let me fix this real quick. Hold on 1 second. There we go. I wanted to get that more even. Go to our next game, which is Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, which is a game of love intimacy by Monsters in the Dive at Night, designed by Pamu. Before we do this real quick, you can find this game, sorry, don't mind my, wow, oh, hey, look, you look it up, it's right there, boop. You can find this game for $12 on, itch.io by Fractal Dragon. Once again, the designer is Alex Rosquero Guerrero. Excuse me. You can see all the information here. You get to be a dragon, you get to kiss dragons. Need to say more? This tabletop game is about the clash of oversized personalities between shapeshifters who can assume a human or dragon form, or anything in between. It's a GM-less, meaning everyone has equal narrative authority, and plays best for over 1 or 2 3 to 4 hour sessions with 3 to 4 players. But yeah, so this is the game here. You can find more information. Other games that Alex has designed is here, which looks like it's just 2 with these Phantom Hands. A 1-player tabletop game from Your Move Jam. You are a ghost and you can't remember how you died. There are 3 living people who you know to be important to you in some way, but you don't know why. More important than anything, you have a message you must convey to one of them, but you don't know what it is. You are unstuck in time, unsure who you are, and unable to rest until you figure out what the message is. So yeah. This is a solo RPG game that you can play. It's really interesting to try it out and see. 1-player RPG based on being a ghost. So yeah, Alex is a fantastic designer. Please go follow his work. I follow him on Twitter at a Fractal Dragon. It'd be great. So yes, sorry, wanted to throw in that plug before we got into Pamu's game. So here we are again. Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, a game of love, intimacy, and monsters in a dive at night, designed by Pamu. I love all these romance games that are happening. It makes me feel so much better. All right. I bet you look good on the dance floor. Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites is a narrative RPG about spending your night in one of the only clubs in your city that is safe for creatures of the night like yourself. All you want to do is have some fun, just like the humans do. Play a supernatural creature of choice, put on some sick EDM on the speakers, and get your game on. What you need in order to play: an even number of players. 2 to 6 would be optimal. Okay, so even number of players, cool. Tokens, or things that you can use as tokens: 4-sided dice, 6-sided dice, 8-sided dice, 10-sided dice, and 12-sided dice. You can share, but it's good that each player has their own set. Some paper and things to write on within in order to keep track of stuff is easier. No GM is needed for this one. This game is designed to make all the storytellers with equal stake in how the story of your nights together go. The basic premise of this game involves all the characters hanging around the same supernaturals only after dark. A nightclub, a concert, a bar, a coffee shop, wherever you fancy as players. For one reason or another, you're there to unwind, chill, and maybe, just maybe, find someone to spend the night with. Each of you interact with each other by choosing the way you approach each other, rolling to see how successful you are, then narrating how the scenes go based on the results. You'll show each other your character's approval of how well flirting is going by giving each other tokens. You'll also be able to spend the tokens to make sure conditions in the club are just right. This game is about hooking up at a club, but doing it within the frame of a good fun, mutual intimacy, respect, and consent. Player safety comes first. Discuss triggers and treat each other well. Make sure you have the safety tools at hand. We strongly suggest script change. Excuse me. Barring that, check out some good tools over at BigBagCon/Safety Mechanisms. All right, making your monsters. Let's make some monsters together. Decide what kind of supernatural creature you'll be. Werewolf, vampire, fairy, banshee. Don't feel restricted by any pantheon of creatures. Give yourself a name, a nickname, and if you want, the name you go by when you're out on the prowl. I'm Amelia Escalona. Amy for short. You can call me Rocket on the dance floor. I love that. Specify your pronouns. Pick 3 to 4 adjectives or make a catchphrase or several to describe who you are. She, they, long hair dyed white, goth, eyeliner on point, Scorpio as heck. Describe your signature look in human skin. Then name and tell your feature that reveals your true nature. I'm all about leather and fishnet stockings. My eyes, though, glow with literal pink flames in the dark. Tell the table your story tonight in a sentence or 2. Broke up with my partner a few months ago. This is the first time I'm putting myself out there again. Specify as player if your character is looking to flirt, hook up, sleep with somebody tonight, or just make a new friend. Each one of you must pledge to respect these boundaries. Consent is sexy. Yes. Is this okay, so? Let's talk about it. Consent isn't cheesy. It's my favorite sticker on my bottle. My favorite sticker. Sorry. Setting the stage. Where are you all tonight? Is it a nightclub in the teeming city that never sleeps? Is it a secret speakeasy with great jazz music for the musicians that only other creatures of the night would remember? Is it a grungy joint that hosts live band formed by monsters like yourselves? After you decide on that, roll a d10 on the table below to determine your starting bonds with each other. This is to provide some sort of story hook in addition to your individual reasons of being out tonight. We designed the bonds to apply collectively between two characters. You'll have multiple partnerships, each reflecting a unique bond between you and each other's partners. For example, if Margie was playing with Ara, Kat, and Danica, Margie's character and Ara's character will have a bond, and have another bond with Kat's character, and another bond with Danica's character. Discuss additional aspects of your bond as you like. If you don't like the bonds chosen, roll again. If you have pitches for each other outside of what we have here, though, feel free to use those hooks instead. Let's see what we got. Bonds. This will be our first time to meet. We're regulars here and haven't seen each other around often. We're friends from way back and play wingman for each other regularly. We've gone home together once or twice, for drinks or for more, you two decide. One of us has helped the other out of a bad spot one night. We had a bad run-in with each other, but that was years ago. We've been interested in each other for a while, but hasn't gone anywhere really intimate yet. One of us, the ex-lover of a friend of the others. One of us is really interested in the other, but nothing's happened yet. We always end up rivals in this place, vying for the attentions of the same people without meaning to. Ah! Love. We won't fade into darkness. Before starting, every player must decide how long the intimacy meters are for each other at the table. We suggest a minimum of 4 points and the maximum of 10. It all depends on how long you like you're going to be. You can all have the same meters for the other characters, or 1 meter at different lengths. Anything goes. Each tick on the intimacy meter represents a character's growing approval, affection, and warmth for another character. Once the meter is full, they've been won over, whether in a friendship sense, a lover sense, or someone else, depending on the bonds between you and the relationship you'd like to build. The player can decide how the night ends for their characters. Characters try to fill intimacy meters by connecting. Describe what you'll say or do according to one of these approaches. Sexy. Using raw sex appeal, your physicality, or your looks. Flirting, getting a little physical and risque. Silly. Using humor, pranks, similar shenanigans. You might, for example, accidentally spill your drink onto the character you wanted to strike up a conversation with. Smooth. Using the charm / the force of your personality and suave gestures to get you by. Buying a goblet of blood for a vampire might get you them to come around. Spooky. Using your powers to influence something in your environment, giving yourself a little push, or with other players' consent, giving a supernatural nudge to one of them you're interested in. Get creative. Don't go for powers or actions that threaten a player or character agency. Take a D6, D8, D10, and D12. Each one you might have assigned one dice as your defense against each other approaches for the night. This means to reflect what your character's into and what might not always work for them. Take turns connecting, working your way around the table. One character chooses their approach, the other character rolls their defense. The character who's approaching needs to roll high enough to get past the other's defenses. The rolls that match or are below the character's defenses don't succeed. Oof. You tried so hard. Whenever you do an approach for the first time, always start rolling at the D12. If you use the same approach on the same character in the next round, downgrade it to a D10. Keep downgrading each time you use the same approach in a row, working your way to a D8, then a D6, then a D4, then back up to a D12. Note though, once you decide to change things up, like using sexy approach, then a spooky one, your dice counter resets immediately. There's something about us. After the results are in, plot what happened between your characters and play it out based on the roll. Everyone else decides whether they saw what happened or not, and if they're willing to do anything during their turn. You may want to consider, as the table, throwing into each other's details and suggestions, building a fun story together. Players can tick off part of the intimacy meters of their characters to reflect how things are going after the scene in question. Things, of course, didn't have to go on exactly planned of your characters to develop feelings for one another. Your vampire might have picked up on your friend's demigod's deliberately spilled a drink on her skirt, but he is kind of cute, so you know. Other players at this table may have the option to fill in their own character's intimacy meters as the results of things happening, even if their characters weren't directly involved. Attraction is a thing that happens whether you're in the situation itself or technically on the outside looking in. Maybe your role found the way that fairy was flirting with the kitsune really hot, for example. Don't worry, child. Tokens and scary monsters and nice sprites represents how much fun you're having with the developments of the night of your characters. They can spend in order to shift things around in the character's favor. At the end of the scene and players can choose to give each other based on what took place. It doesn't matter if your character was involved in the scene or not. If you enjoyed how they went down as players, give those tokens over. Players can spend the tokens that they collected on making things interesting for their characters. Here are some options you can choose from. Bump your approach dice up to a higher level next scene. If you were supposed to roll a d6, you can roll a d8 and so forth. Downgrade the approach of a character on the next lowest level just for the scene. If they were supposed to roll a d12, they now roll a d10 and so forth. Oof! Oof! Ah! Oof! Doing some blocking there. Downgrade the defense dice of your character you're approaching. Upgrade your defense dice against the approach of a character who's trying to connect with you. Increase or decrease intimacy meters by choice of point. If you as a group come up with a new option to add to the list in the game, feel free. Token moves must have an in-game explanation for them. Maybe you're paying the DJ to play DJ off to play the other character's favorite song at the right moment, or perhaps the character you're connecting with likes you enough to give you more attention and patience. Consider using your bonds you establish as the jump-off points. Everyone in the table must approve of your use of token or for the purpose of you chosen. That way, you're all keeping and building a fun story of a night out together. So, are you going to stay the night? The in-game period of your game doesn't have to be just one night. You can make it several nights and intersperse other scenes, like outtakes of things that happen during the day, as you like. There's no hard or fast rules beyond the fun. Play out whatever you like, as long as the table agrees that it's cool. Some of you, for example, might want to extend the play and to include more intimate scenes. After intimacy pools have been filled, if your entire table approves, or if somebody is not comfortable with that, you can opt to do a lovely build-up, then graciously fade to black. Fade to black. Keep playing until you've reached satisfying conclusions for each other's characters. Play out those moments of friendship, old and new, of intimacy, reconnecting, or delicious drama. Be open, communicate, plot together, be quick and easy with allowing things like re-rolls, and be generous with giving each other tokens. Always choose the story above dice results. Have fun, and remember that the fun is grounded in consent because consent is sexy. Yeah. Credit and acknowledgement. Patrons. Common creative uses. Also love this little rainbow, like, neon sign. I want that in my apartment, please and thank you. But yeah, that is Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. I think, isn't that a Skrillex song? It is a Skrillex song. Okay, I was very confused. I was like, why does that sound so familiar? But, let's pull it up here. Oh, no! Oh, here we go. I found it. So you can find this in itch.io if you follow Pamu. Pamu is an excellent designer. It's for $5. Gives off everything needed. The art is fantastic. Yeah, and go ahead and leave it a review. Let's see, what other games has Pamu written? A lot. Goodness, okay. Oh, here we go. This is just their games. Purple is Prose, a trashy game about trash. What? Trashy game about trashy writers writing trashy romance. Hold on, I gotta look into this one. 1 second. Let me just pop it open. Oh, that text is hard to read. It's our subtitle ought to say it all. This is a game about coming together to write trashiest romance stories you can think of. Build a group of 3 to 5 players to keep things quick, dirty, and fun. Develop a writer persona. Complete a trashy social media profile to introduce yourself with. And engage in some Cards Against Humanity style gameplay as each of you competes to make the best romance novel ever. Purple's Prose just needs 2 6-sided dice, index cards, tokens, and things you can write with. About 2 hours for your game time, and a great sense of humor. It's crunch time, honey. Oh my god, it's so good. I love that. That's great. That's awesome. Okay. Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. A Rising Tide. A Ritual of Big Dreamers and Bigger Hearts. Our Armistice, an intimate experience about heroes, lovers, and home. Agent Acceptance, a collaborative RPG of emotions and roots on being queer in the closet. Let's take a look at that one. $10. Agent Acceptance, that space of your straight loved ones. Particularly your parents or relatives saying without saying that maybe you're gay and maybe that's okay with them. Things will remain okay for as long as nobody does anything to rock the boat. Not rocking the boat is particularly hard to do in our context, given the vast familiar networks of characterized in many Asian families, especially in Southeast Asia. The Philippines is, in particular, an enmeshed society with everyone knowing everyone else, or knowing your parents or grandparents. We like to say we're liberal, progressive, accepting the LGBTQIA community. We like to say a lot of things. Oof. Asian Acceptance is a story about the hopes to explore and what it's like to spend a day in the shoes of an LGBTQIA person in the closet, or who must navigate through everyday situations in the community aftermath of coming out. Utilizes a system of dread. Oh! Because we feel like it's an inherent tension of dread system together with physicality involved in playing its good simulation of the experience of being queer. It requires a facilitator and then comfortably seats 2 to 5 players. Beyond that, you'll need a handful of tokens, a Jenga or Jenga-like tower, and stuff to write with. Oh, that's a whole lot of oof, y'all. Dang. Okay. So you can get that for $10. Like, that sounds a really good game to play and run. After their periods talking about going to an all boys or girls school in the Philippines. Catholic all boys or girls school, mind you. Oh, geez. Sorry, I'm just reading it. Another thing is the animal family reunion big batch party. Oh my god, going to the... Oh. When are you getting married? You're such a waste. Yikes. Oh god, that's just gonna hit right in the oofy feels. Name, gender, pronouns, appearance and descriptions, and where do you live? Yeah, wow, okay. That's a game. Here's another game, Tenoli Me Tengeri? A firebrand hack about social climbing for Tenola. Only assholes have to end at the end of this dungeon. An fantastically different dungeon crawl for assholes. The rest of us get to sleep well at night. Okay, hold on, I gotta look at this. It's so cute looking, but it uses such harsh language. I love that. Alright, dipshit, what do you love the most? Make it all about you. I don't know why it got dark like that. I can't. Okay. It's only $5. So, oh my god, you're in a dungeon. Do you play a sheep? I love this art. Not gonna lie, this is good art. It's a one-player dungeon crawl. You're playing a character who's discovered that they're stuck in a nightmare. This nightmare involves being chased through a terrifying dungeon full of gruesome traps and ridiculously lethal obstacles. At the end of the dungeon, a final boss stands between you and the exit. The final boss always bears the face, body, and the voice of the mortal you have wronged. They realize their final form of this dungeon after being so done with your shit. Everything in this dungeon kills you in one hit. If you die in the nightmare, you die in real life. If by some miracle you've managed to defeat or evade the final boss, you'll wake up just fine and live another day. When you sleep, though, you'll find yourself in a new dungeon that hated you just as much as the last one, with a final boss that is just as powerful as the one you faced before. So yes, it was in the title. You only need to play this game if you're an asshole. Riffs off the likes of Catherine, only better because I'm awesome and shameless. If you're not an asshole, loving cookies. If you are one, buy this game and die. Oh my god, that's so good. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay. The Reverend's Reverie, a game of ghosts in a war machine. And what's so cool about Glorious Gay on Battleship? Glorious Gays on Battleships. A game Pammy wanted to do in honor of the gayest space opera ever. So yeah. Oh, here's another one. Mam Sera San Pollo Kayo. San Pollo Kayo. My Philippine is really bad, so sorry. A tabletop RPG about helping passengers get through to where they gotta go. Being a taxi driver is a tough job already. Being a taxi driver with your third eye wide open and a kind heart makes it even harder. It translates to, ma'am, sir, where to? Okay. 2 to 4 hour micro RPG designed for 3 to 5 players. It's about bringing passengers where they need to be at night. Play a kind-hearted cabbie who does their round in Metro Manila, the capital of the Philippines. Have some of your friends play your familiars, spirits, or monsters that help you with the past. and you're naturally trying to pay it forward. This is a city where there are just as many spirits as there are people, and they need help to take the wheel and hang some Sampa Gita in your rearview mirror, fire up ways. Your passengers are waiting. No previous knowledge of Filipino folklore is needed in order to play the game. In fact, I designed it as a foreign audience in mind. The game has extensive page length marks in Metro Manila, some examples of the spoopy monsters that haunt our local lore, and references for the people who want to know more. Ah, I like that. That's a fairly fun game too. Okay. So, as you can tell, Pamu and Alex are both fantastic writers. Please go check out these games that I've talked about. Check out these other games I have mentioned. And yeah. On that note, we are getting close to our 2-hour mark. So, I just want to say, yeah. I guess I can go through talking about who I am, what I do, all that good stuff. So, hi. Hello. If you did not know me, I am Mo, or Morgan. Pronouns are they, them, and she, her. You can find me on all the socials at Serena Bezos. I like tabletop games. I like tabletop RPGs. I like talking about games. I like going through games and hyping up fantastic designers in the BIMPOC community. Because they deserve it. And I just want to do what I can to give them a little platform, a little push. And if it's just me rambling at a screen for 2 hours, just excited about what I'm reading, I'll totally do that. And that's what I'm doing. So, yeah, if you want to follow me, please do so. My Twitter, I wonder if I can pull up my stuff. Let's see here. Do I have one? There we go. Excellent. But yes, I do podcast work. I do actual play live streams. You can catch me on Wednesday on Actual Play, playing Apocalypse Keys with Sean Nittner, Jamie, and Jen Martin. You can catch me Friday on Ryan Bolton's channel, playing Chimera RPG, A Tale of Twinkle and Awe. Am I doing anything else? I think that's it. Look at my calendar real quick. 1 second. Yeah, I think that's it. Until next Wednesday. So yeah, if you want to go ahead, follow me, please do. I have a Ko-fi somewhere in my Twitter that if you'd like to donate to me and, you know, toss a little coin my way, I appreciate it. I would basically use all that money to buy games. So if you give your money to me or give your money to a designer, you choose how you want to. But yeah, let me know. Reach out to me on Twitter. You can find me at Serena Bezos. Let me know what other BIMPOC games that you like or interested in learning about. I love getting suggestions. If you have any news, have any Kickstarters, let me know. Because I try to be everywhere and I can't. I would like to be. But sometimes algorithms on Twitter are funky and I just miss things. Unfortunately. And I hate it. But what can you do? Yeah, so I'm going to leave this here. So y'all have a good night. Stay good, hydrate, take care of yourself. Hope your Monday wasn't too bad. I love ya. Hearts. Hearts. And, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.